Hey guys, Buck here at BTM Scale Modeling. Welcome back to another week on the bench. Guys, thank you for all the well wishes and comments last week. Things are getting better. Still haven't talked with her. She's not talking to me or my wife, but that's neither here nor there. But guess what, guys? Dry dock's open again, so we did do some work. This video is going to be a little longer than my normal ones because I'm covering a span of 2 weeks. I did do bits and pieces over the last couple of weeks, but I got hit hard again this week. As you guys know, I started a new position with my job. Still not sure how I'm feeling about the overnights, but one great advantage is I get to spend a little more time on the kit. So I'll take that. So we did get quite a bit of work done. Give you a quick little preview. We've gotten more of the extra detail added on, and we've done quite a bit of photo etch work. So guys, I'm not going to take away from the video. I'll let you watch that. Guys, if you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. Like always, please, if you have anything you want to talk about, anything I can do, explain more about my process, please leave it in the comment section. I do answer within 12 to 24 hours, and I also just enjoy great feedback from you guys. If you see something that I'm doing that you have a better solution to, please let me know. That's what the community is about. So without further ado, guys, let's get to the bench and see what happens. Okay guys, it's Saturday. We're back at the bench working on Voyager, and yes, the tedious task of drilling all the windows is done. I've got them all cleared out. Top saucer, bottom saucer, and the secondary hull. I'm going back through and doing just some fine-tuning, taking out the little bits. Let's see if we can get you some. There you go. As you can see, they're all cleared out. Just doing some fine-tuning. So what I did after I cleaned the windows out, guys, is you get a lot of styrene dust and stuff from just trying to clear them out. So what I suggest and what I did is I went back through and I washed the parts again. It gets rid of a lot of that flash that you create on cleaning out the windows. It gets rid of all that dust that accumulates while you're cleaning out the windows, and just overall cleans the model back up, and you can get a really good look at what you want to do if you want to go back and touch up a couple of areas or stay as is. So what we're going to start working on next, I still have some other parts that I got to open up for lighting, but I wanted to start working with the photo etch and showing you guys how I work with that. Really cool stuff. Really love doing it. So I'm going to get cleaned up and set up. Well, hold on to that. Some other things besides the photo etch, we're going to start working on adding the extra detail to the kit. I already started when I added these raised lines onto the saucer section, but as you can see here in the bridge, there's a few separations right around the bridge, and then I got to add that. So we're going to start working on adding some more detail to the kit too. So guys, I'm going to get reset and stand by. I'll see you in a little bit. Okay guys, we're going to start working on getting rid of some detail to add detail. I know it's kind of weird sounding, but that's what we're going to do. And we're going to start on the ready room windows and the briefing room. As you can tell, I'm already starting to take some of it down, and we'll work on the next one. So basically guys, what you want is your Dremel. I use a nice sandstone. You're going to want to have it kind of high because that'll help keep the crap off your stone blade. And basically guys, all it is nice and easy going in and taking out that detail. Now we can go back in later and clean it up with a knife and some sandpaper. So what we want to do is just get that down. So we're going to do the same on this side, on the ready room side. And like I said, just take your time, guys. It's not something you want to no fast on. Sorry guys, I'm going to turn the kit around and see what I'm doing here. And basically, like I said, you just, it's nice and easy. Now, if you end up gouging the kit, I'll show you here. Let me finish this up. Okay, so basically that's it in a nutshell. As you can see, we moved the detail from both sides, and now what I'll do is I just go in with my hobby knife, my X-Acto knife, and I get rid of that flash that came up. Now, if for some reason you ding the kit a little bit, because that can happen and will happen, trust me, it's real easy fix with some Bondo. And we're going to be using a little Bondo here when we do this. So all I'm doing is getting rid of that flash. Now you can see I left some of the raised detail just a little bit because I need to know, and if you look at the reference photos, you see it is a little raised out, but it's not in your face raised out. So with that, I'm just cleaning up this, and we're going to work that out and get that smoothed out. Okay, so the next step is we want to get our piece of photo etch. Okay, guys, I suggest go to Home Depot or your local whatever hardware store and pick you up a nice piece of a tile. It's a great surface to work on. It's hard, and you know you can't go wrong. So basically, guys, what I did with this photo etch, and I learned this from Boyd watching his videos. I don't have a butane torch, but that's one way to do it. What I did is I just ran this through a fire, gas fire, you know, my stove, and basically it's called cleaning or warping. What it is when they make this stuff's so tight when you get it in, when you go to start cutting this, it'll actually start kind of bending and disshaping on you. So what you want to do, and what I did is I just ran it through the fire. You see how it's discolored, but I heated it up. I heated it up to help relax that metal. In essence, it's stretched out. So what we're going to do is, this is one of the pieces I want to work with. I'm going to cut with my X-Acto as close to it as I can and get it removed. Yeah, sometimes this stuff works easier, and that's what's nice about having this hard surface. And sometimes you have to kind of go on the backside. So this is one of the pieces I'm going to be working with. I know it's kind of small to see. Let's see if we can zoom in here on it. Right there. So as you can see, guys, that's one of the pieces. They're delicate and they're tiny. So I'm kind of looking at it. I'm just making sure. Yep, there's a little flash. So there's a real nifty trick. Take that same tool you were using on your Dremel. A little bit more variable speed, and you can use tweezers or whatever you want. But you take that sandstone and just ever so lightly knock off that ridge, just like so. I mean, I'm going to pull it up. Maybe you can see it, guys. So you see that little ridge? So I'm just using this to knock it off. Take a look at it. Maybe a little more here. Okay. So that's cleaned up. Alright? Nice, easy. Okay? So what we're going to do now is I want to look at it against the kit. And if I can find my tweezers. Guys, always have a set of long nose. So basically all I'm going to do is I want to see what it's going to look like up against the kit and see if that's what I'm going to be happy with. And yep, just enough of detail, which I'm going to actually use a little T.B.I putty. And yep, so I'm liking that. So now I gotta look, okay, what do I need to take out for the window? And what I'm gonna do on this window, let me zoom back in for you guys. Let me adjust that so you can see what we're looking at. Okay, so that's basically how it's gonna sit on the kit. It looks good. I might do a little Bondo just to do a little of the edge. But as you can see here, get this out here and straighten you back up. So this is what I need to remove. So I'm kind of looking, okay. Now you might go, well, why don't we just drill out the holes? Well, I can, but I'm not going to do that. What I want to do for ease, because this is a nice photo etch, is I'm going to actually take out this section. So what I want to do is, I got a mechanical pencil here, and I'm going to mark right on the kit the distance. Or you can do another thing. Again, take your tweezers and hold them up against the kit with the piece, and then if it'll sit there, come on, sit. And basically I'm just kind of marking the area with all the windows. Okay, so now I'm going to remove this. I'm going to set it to the side, and I'm going to take my nice little ruler, and I'm just going to draw maybe nice little reference line. Actually, screw that. I'm just going to draw in here what I'm going to work on. Try to keep it in frame here for you guys. Is I'm just, is that a lead? Always have a spare. And basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to black out this. So this is what I want to remove. Oh, sorry guys. So this is what I'm going to remove. Very simple. So since these pieces are mirrored on both sides, I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to put it up here, get a look at it. Same spot. Okay. And just ever so lightly. Easier said than done sometimes, right guys? Ever so lightly. Ah, you bugger. I'm just gonna hold it in, and I'm gonna mark out. Okay? Again, replace that so you don't lose it. And again, I'm just gonna, maybe a little bigger than what it actually is, but because I'm taking all that out, I can do something like that. Okay? So basically that's what we're going to start with. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change a bit on my Dremel, and I'm just going to use that to take this out. So we'll come back after I get that ready, and I'll show you the next thing we're going to do, guys. Okay guys, back. So as you can see, I have a very tiny little router head on this. So that's what I'm going to use to do this. Again, the same thing issue is just to be careful with heating it up, is you can use the plastic. So basically guys, all I'm going to do, get your Dremel going really good and fast. Zoom out. And basically I'm just going to take that area out. Just rough it up. Nothing very big. So all I did, and I'm going to go back and clean up, but I want to show you guys. So all I did was use that to rough the area out. Now I can go back in with sand, a sanding stick and my X-Acto knife and square that up really well. The big thing is I don't want to take too much and I don't want to take too little. But what this does, it just gives us a start and gets a lot of plastic out of the way really quick. And as you can see here, guys, I'm just cleaning off that styrene. So I'm going to do the next one and we'll keep going. So again, guys, it's just a little bit. Okay. Not trying to cut the whole thing out, just getting a little bit done. So now next step is we're going to clean that up. So I'm going to clean this first. And got a useful tip from a subscriber is if you use canola oil or olive oil or extra virgin olive oil he likes to use, that'll help keep the bit, your drill bit, whatever you're using from overheating, so it won't melt the plastic. So basically now, guys, it's real simple. All I'm going to do is go in and clean this up. So I'm going to get this cleaned up. I'm going to show you what the cleaned up product looks like when we come back, and we'll do the next step. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, guys, sorry about that. So as you can see, that's what they look like, nice and clean, and where I want to get them to. So the next step is we're actually going to put on that piece of photo etch that we cut out earlier. So trying to keep this in camera and working for you guys. So basically I got my photo etch all set and ready. Again, I'm going to be using my CA, this Maxi Cure hold. It's really fast, quick acting, but I'm not using it from the bottle. So guys, my technique for doing this part, and basically with any photo etch, is I'm actually getting a toothpick, and I got a little bit of glue here on the side, here on this piece of plastic, and basically I dip the pick in, and then I rub the CA where I'm going to glue. So what this does is it doesn't put too much, doesn't overdo the glue, but it gives me enough to work with to get this bonded. So I have a second toothpick, my handy dandy X-Acto knife, and my tweezers. So basically, guys, all I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this up and we're going to get it in place where we want, hopefully. Yeah, that's the problem with these things. Sometimes they just don't want to let go. So basically, okay, so I'm going to use my hands here. So basically all I'm going to do is get it set in place, look at it, make sure it's where I want it. Yep, I like the placement, I like the look, it looks pretty well right spot on, and then I'm just going to press down. Okay, you got to work really quick, so having a plan of attack and being ready to go works with when you're using the CA, because if not, it's going to set and your piece is going to be there. So you got about 30 seconds or less when working with, this Maxi Cure CA glue to get it set. So I'm really happy with that. Let's see if I can zoom in a little more for you guys so you can see that. So I'm really happy with that. That looks really cool. And if you look at the side, it's got just enough raised on it to match the reference photos. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the other side done. And from there, we're going to keep working on adding the photo etch windows. So we'll go to my favorite thing of doing time-lapse for this. And that way you don't have to sit here and listen to me talk, but we can listen to a little music while I get this done. Alright guys, I'll see you when we get this part done. Okay guys, welcome back to the bench. We're finally getting back to work on the Voyager after a 2-week hiatus. As you can tell with the video, I've cut in some work I previously did before crap started happening. And here is the finished look with the ready room and the briefing room windows. Okay, let's see if I can do this here. There's the underside. As you can see, it's all hollowed out. Now there might be some light leak touch up that we have to do. It's understandable, easy to do. So a couple of other things that I've done just to pill around and get some things done is I started marking out the navigation and the strobes. Now while Ralph builds a great kit for lighting and I love everything he does, there's some things I'm going to change just a little bit. I noticed with this kit that he didn't add lights for the bottom side on the secondary deck underneath. So I'm going to add those. He adds the SMDs for the navigation lights, but looking at the videos, some things I'm going to do just to change a little bit is I'm going to go with these 1.8 millimeter round tops. While this is not strobe white or white, you're going to see what's going to happen, because anybody who watches the show or is a fan of the show will always notice that the strobe marker here on the bridge, let me zoom out because God, I can't run a camera after being away for a while. Okay, alright, right there. You always see it's kind of domed up. Well, if you use an SMD, that's kind of flat. So what I did, just so you guys know, is I marked my hole and I drilled it. And then what I did is I came in with my router tool and I took away some of the plastic so we can get the dome effect of the strobe light. So let's see if you guys can see that. While it's not very pronounced like in the kit, I think it will do just fine. I'm really lenient of taking any more plastic away from the kit. It's getting really thin there, so I might hollow it out a little more, but I kind of like that look right there. Again, guys, these are your kits. Do what you want. Make them yours, but that's what I'm going to do. So, like I said, also I've already plotted and cut out the saucer section lights, which here I will use the SMDs. They're going to be great for that because they fit right on the edge and they don't strobe. So, okay, guys, we're back. Sorry about the kitten. He getting a little vocal there. Do that. So, like I said, I'm going to use the SMDs for the port and starboard, and then the SMDs on the bow for those strobe effects. So, the things that I'm getting ready to do now is I'm going to work on the photo-etch, finishing up the saucer section, the lower and top half. I want you guys to see here, I'm already starting to measure. This is the next piece of photo-etch I'm going to do. I want to get any kit cuts into the kit done before I just sand down this bridge part on deck A. Now, while some of this photo-etch is not flush, mainly the secondary dish here, a lot of what you look at is going to be flush. These ships are very smooth, they're very elegant. So as you can see here, the transporter sensors, it's got a little raised detail on the kit, so I'm deciding whether I'm going to just smooth that out and get that in. I got to reference the photos a couple more times before I make a decision. So that's what I'm going to do. But when you look at the paragraphic instructions, it just says glue on to the back here. I don't want to do that. Every shot I've seen, you know, it doesn't show a lot of this egress hatch or this access hatch in the back on the primary, on deck A or deck 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the hole out, clean my photo etch up, and then I'm going to apply it. And then I'll go back in with some putty and sand it down smooth, so it's an all nice flat finished surface. So that's one of the next steps I'm going to do. Also, looking at the kit, as I'm finishing cleaning off Flash, I've added the extra windows that Paragraphics gives you the templates for. Now, I got to clean them up just a little bit more, but they're fine. I'm happy with them. Around the A and B deck, or deck 1, deck 2. And then we're going to add in the rest of the photo etch to complete this. Again, guys, just side note, I want to apologize again for being away for a couple of weeks. Like I said, family issues got in the way. I think we've all been there with that. And I'm excited to get back to building on the USS Voyager. So guys, I'm gonna reset, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut this out off camera, just because the angle's awkward, and you've already seen me cut the holes for the ready room and the briefing room. And when we come back, I'm gonna show you how to fit this in and what to do to make it smooth. Guys, just to let you know, we have a lot of pre-building work still left to do. I still have detail to add to the saucer. I have detail to add to the nacelles, to the secondary hull. We're a long way from getting things done, but every little step forward is awesome. So guys, like I said, I'm gonna get this taken care of, and when we come back, I'll show you how to put that in. So stay tuned. Okay guys, welcome back. I've got the part that I wanted cut and sanded down to pretty much what I want to do. So just so you guys can see here, this is all I did. Is I took my router bit on my Dremel and I cut a little bit out. I measured it like I showed you. I cut a little bit out, and then I went with pin. I don't know the term for these right now, but guys, if you don't have these little mini sanding tools, sorry, my brain's fuzzing out right now. I'd get them, the micro or the miniature tools there. Sorry guys, forgive me. But basically all I did is I took where'd it go? I took this one, which kind of squared, to cut out the square part here, fix that up. But basically I just used a flat one, and it's real simple. Once you got it where you want, cut out. Again, here's a point where less is more. Take a little bit out, take enough to get you a working start. Then go in and take a little bit out at a time. Make sure, like I have my my piece cut here, and I just went back and forth, back and forth. So I've got it pretty well cleaned out. I definitely got it where I want it. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to pause the camera again. I'm going to get it set into place, because it's going to take both my hands. I know I got this on a stand, but there might be some slurs and some things that should not be mentioned on YouTube that I might be saying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the first part set up, and basically all that is I'm going to glue down the bottom part here, the bottom edge. I'm going to let that set up, and then I'm just going to gently push it, apply my glue to the top and gently push it to the glue, and then it'll be ready to go. Another thing I did is, if you notice the back part of the bridge here on deck A, it's slightly curved. So I slightly curved the photo etch, and basically all I did is put it between my two fingers and just roll it, just ever so gently, just to give it a nice little curve. Nothing too pronounced, just to give it that little curve so it's not so straight in there. So guys, I'm going to get my glue set up, and when we come back, I'll have the bottom part done, and then I'll show you how to finish it. Okay guys? We'll see you in just a second. Okay guys, I told you just a couple seconds. I got it set. It's setting up right now, but I want to show you. Sorry guys, let me zoom out of here. show you what's going on here. So as you guys can see, I pretty much flushed up the bottom to the bottom of my deck, and it's just sitting right at the top there. Now that's a happy happenstance. I wasn't expecting that. So basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to come in on the underside and I'm going to apply my CA and take care of that. But I definitely want to let this bottom set up, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to apply my Bondo putty, which is something I really like, and I suggest you guys, I'll grab it when we get ready for that stage. But while the T.B.I putties are great and the Model Master putties, I use a good putty, and I watched Lou DeMasso use it a lot, so I'm really happy with it. So that's what I'm going to use, and that's what I'm going to recommend for you guys. But as you can see, it again, just trying to, let's see if I can turn it more sideways there for you guys. If it'll focus, you see how flush it is right there? And then when I sand this, when I put the putty in, or the Bondo, and then I sand it down, it's going to be one smooth section. Like I said, researching the shots and watching the series again, while a lot of things do stand up, like some on the bridge detail, the escape pods, and the sensor mask stuff, does stand up a little bit. It doesn't stand up this pronounced, but looking at the back of A deck or deck 1, the egress hatch or the pod hatch is flush to the hull, so I'm trying to keep with that as much as I can. So that's set up enough. So basically all I'm going to do, guys, if we can get in shot there, is I like the placement on it. So basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and just drop a line of my CA. And I'm going to let gravity do the rest of the work. I don't want to push on it. I don't want to do anything that's going to interfere with that any more than I already have. And basically I'm going to do one more look at it, and that's it. The biggest part of building these kits is knowing when to say, okay, I'm done, I'm stopping, I'm not screwing with this anymore. Might do one more dollop on the bottom, sorry, just so it has a good anchor base. And like I said, I'll just let gravity pull that glue into the photo etch and the seam there, and we're done. Again, just looking at it from all directions, it looks really good. I'm very happy with it. The little bit extra I cut out, easy enough to take care of with some Bondo, which is what we're going to do next as soon as this CA sets up really well. And so guys, when we come back, I'll show you how I'm going to apply the Bondo, and we'll go on to the next step. All right. Okay guys, the great thing about CA is it sets up very quick, and it's done, it's ready to go. That's why you have to work with it so fast. But what I wanted to show you guys is what I use is this Bondo glazing and spot putty. Great stuff, can't talk enough about it. Glad Lou was able to tell me what he used. I mean, it's great stuff. It sands very easy, it dries rather quickly in a couple hours depending on how much you use, but it's perfect for what we do. Love it, just love it. So now what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna how I do this, and I'll try to zoom in here a little more, adjust the camera so you guys can see what I'm gonna do here. So basically you take your tube, and what I do for these little things is I use a toothpick, and basically all I'm gonna do is get a little bit on the end of my toothpick, okay, and just apply it to where that hole is, okay, not very much, and then like I said, I use my toothpick kind of smooth this out. Sometimes you just kind of got to get it in there. Don't worry about the buildup, you can sand that off. That's the great stuff about this. So again, just right in the hole and apply.
Again, like I said, you can wipe off the excess if you need to, and sometimes it's encouraged just to get it done. And then I'm going to add along the top here. And at this point, sometimes it's better, get a little bit on the end of your finger, because your finger, you can just slightly apply pressure and add it in. And then this stuff dries fairly well, so you can knock off the hard edges and then just smooth it out. Problem here that we're going to run into with the bottom is there's just not a lot of room to work with to get it in there, but we will. Might have to build up on the bottom just a little bit, just like that. So we can cover up that seam, make it all smooth. Now you're like, Buck, you got some on the photo etch. Well, that's fine, because when we go back to sand it, that will actually come off. The great thing about the photo etch is quite a bit of that's going to come off. But like I said, as it's drying here a little bit, we can come back in here and we can knock off these big chunks. Have a little towel around, wipe it down. Like I said, I'll just use my toothpick here, scratch off the excess that I don't want, that I know I don't want. And then again, I'll just use it to clean up underneath. Just like that, guys. So now what we're going to do is we're going to let this sit for a while and dry. And we'll come back and we'll sand it down. But that's basically the best way to marry the photo etch into the hull and keep it where it's a smooth finish all the way across. Just remember, take your time. This is not something to do in a hurry. This is not something that has to be, you know, finished in an hour. You're not going to happen. Trust me. But take our toothpick and we'll clean off the crap around here. The great thing again here, I'm not so worried about it coming up here on the first deck or the A deck, is because I'm going to take all this detail off and apply the photo etch later to get back that raised detail and take some of it down. So I'm not really worried. That's why I went ahead and did this part, is so that I can sand it, get it where I want, and then I'll come back and I'll grind this down and then add the photo etch in. And as you guys know, I'm going to add the detail here, but I didn't want to add it until I got this part done. Now, here's the thing. What we're going to do is we're going to have to do this part again on the bottom here. Now, this is just one part of the hull. I'm going to zoom out so you guys can see here. This is just one part of the hull on the secondary hull. But if you remember, so this is the landing port, and we're going to take that out. Same here. These are the landing bay doors, or the landing gear doors. So we're going to take those out, and then we're going to do the same process that we just did for that hatch. But also here, once we get the hull together, right here, there's two cargo bay hatches. Now, if you just put the photo etch on top, you're going to have that little raise. Well, we can't do that. So what I'll do is, once I get everything where I want on this, because this one's pretty much, I'm going to have all the lighting already ready to go. I mean, it's pretty big. I can probably put it together, do everything I need to, and add the lighting. It's just easier to work when it's not. Haven't decided yet, but we're gonna have to do the same thing here. We're gonna have to cut, and I'm not gonna cut all the way through. I'm just gonna take my tool and just chisel it out, just grind out enough so I can put that hatch in and add my Bondo and be good to go. So there's still quite a bit more work, to do. We're gonna have to do this technique a couple more times. So what's gonna happen next is I'm gonna let this dry for a little bit. While it's drying, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up some more flash, and we're gonna start adding the other windows into the top of the saucer section and possibly get working on the lower section. So that's the plan, and it's slowly coming along, guys. We still got a lot of work to do before we even put on a coat of primer or even do anything in here for lighting. But just to let you know, work's slowly coming. One thing I will say about the windows, using the pen drill worked really great. Just don't expect to have sometimes the cleanest of edges. Now I'm going in and I'm cleaning it up as I see what needs to be done. I'm just happy that they're all drilled out and are in the respected shape. Now sometimes while using that pen vise, you might get a little one-off. Again, you can just go through and fix that with a little bit of putty. Nothing to it, just take a little bit of putty in there and then sand it down and then just kind of hollow it out again. But for the most part, I'm happy with how the windows came out. Again, windows is a very long, arduous process of either using your Dremel or the pen vise just to keep going in and going, oh my god. But like I said, they're all done. So now we're working on the photo etch. So again, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up some flash. I still got some flash here to do, and still in where we're gonna add photo etch the main windows. So when we come back, we'll start on that process after I get it cleaned up. All right, see you soon. Okay guys, it's Friday evening and I go to work in a couple hours. Started the new position, so been a little crazy, but it has allowed me to do a little more work, get some more progress done. Just show you here, guys. As you can see, I've added the finishing details here, and I've started adding all the photo etch. Sorry to show you on the windows, guys. I figure that's pretty self, you guys know how to do that, but I will again show the technique when I finish up the windows on the lower part of the saucer. But what I want to show you guys is I've gotten the transporter sensors up, done all that, got the ready room windows, and as you can see, I've added the photo etch windows. Let's see, and it actually looks pretty cool, guys, so not too bad. One of the things I did want to show you guys what I did, if it can come up and show you. You see these little strips of styrene that I put with the windows here? I'm sorry guys, here, that's better. This little strip of styrene, what happened is I noticed that while the photo etch is really good, because of the molding, you're not going to always get a perfect fit. So there was a little gap on all of these, just right at the top. What these are designed to do is to fit flush up against the edge of the window, in that mold right there, and then sit back on this part. While it did really well there, there was just because of the way the plastic was molded, the cooling process, and cleaning out the flash, there's just a little bit of a gap. So all I did was add a piece of styrene strip to help light block that and fill that gap up. Did want to show you guys, here's the finished back part on the EVA hatch. So as you can see, I sanded it all down back smooth, and now you can't ever tell that wasn't actually part of the kit. It's beautiful. It came out really good. So what we're going to do also is, if you've noticed on your kit, you have these 3 little indentations on the upper saucer section. Now what that's for, and let's see if I don't screw this up, right here, these 3 cargo attachments, not cargo attachments, but EVA doors, airlocks. And we're going to add those in, and we're going to go pretty much with the same process that we did here. And you may ask why I'm going to do that. You know, one, I think it's going to look really cool. But if you look here on this reference photo, here's the airlock, as you can see. Now, they did really well with giving you this bottom indentation, but what you don't get is the top here. And if you just glue the photo etch right on, it's going to stick out. So what we're going to do is the same process that we did for the back airlock, is we're just going to cut out enough, and then we'll clean it up to size and apply the airlock. We'll Bondo it, we'll sand it all down smooth, and then what I'm going to do is take a strip of styrene, and just to match it up to the kit, to the ship, I'm going to glue a little bit of styrene in and then sand it down so it matches even with the hull. Not very hard, a little bit of delicate work, but it's going to come out awesome. So also, like I said, I started on this part. As you can see, I've added the transport emitters, gotten those in place. And what we're going to do here is the kit, it's slightly bigger than what the photo etch is. So I'm going to take some liquid putty, I'm going to fill that in, and then I'm going to sand it out smooth with the rest of the hull. I don't like the extra space in between the emitter and the photo etch, so we're going to take care of that. This window set, sorry, here we go, there we go, camera workbook. This window set here was fun. As you can see, I actually had to bend it in, I had to bend it in and work it. So I added again another strip of styrene, and it looks really well, but I'm going to have to go in here and add in some liquid putty on the top here and sand that out, get it all flushed up, looking real nice and even. It was a little work getting in, but all in all, I'm very happy with how things are starting to come out. I'm at this point where I'm just adding all the detail, and I think it's kind of cool to get it done, and then I'll bring it back and let you guys see what got finished. If you want to see again how I do it, just go back to the first part where we added the cargo hatch. When we cut that out for the airlock doors, and then just applying photo etch. Go back to the ready room. But I will do one more quick segment. Show you guys on this how I'm going to put these in, and just a little side note. What really helps on the bottom of the saucer section are these two little nips, and that really helps set that window in nice. It helps give you a nice little spacing. So guys, I'm going to pause the video, and I'm gonna get set. And I'm going to show you how to lay in the photo etch windows on the bottom of the saucer, and we're going to keep working on detail from there. So stand by, guys. Okay guys, welcome back. I cut out the pieces that I need, and I went ahead and sand it and ground them down so you didn't have to listen to the Dremel go. So basically all we're going to do is, let's see if I can get this in here for you guys. We're going to start adding these, and where we're going to add them is right here. So again, like with everything, you want to test and test fit. With these windows, the placement, have your section, and they just go down just like so. If I can get my fingers out of the way. They just go in like so. Now what I mean by test fitting and all that is you want to turn the kit over, and you kind of want to get an idea center for your window, and it also gives you a chance to see if you got any residual flash left to clean up. Revell's, while they make some really good kits from Europe, out of Europe, Revell's just still known for having a lot of flash. So you just want to make sure you get that all cleaned up. Take a sanding stick, take the last of it out. So basically, again, I take my styrene glue, and while I'm not going to add a whole lot. Again, you know, this not styrene, my CA, sorry, is I just want to get a nice little layer in for my window. And again, remember, this stuff is very sticky. It bonds really fast, so you got to work really quick. So I'll set it in, and now I know if you can't tell, it's kind of setting up, but that's cool because then I can turn it over, and once I apply pressure, I can tell, yep, that's exactly where I want my window. Let's zoom in here for you guys so you can see that. So as you can see, that's the one we just did. Yep, and I'm happy. So, I mean, it's just that quick and simple on these flat windows. A little more work again when you're having to bend windows in, or the bigger ones, but not too terribly difficult to do. Just remember, when working with the CA, just a little bit goes a long way on these kits, and it adheres very, very quick. I mean, its cure time is like 30 seconds or less. So I'm going to take a look at the next one. Make sure that's what I want. Make sure everything's clean. Again, just the reason you want to keep test fitting is sometimes when they were making these windows to get them all into the same proper replacement, some of the window holes aren't the same on the kit, so you just want to take a look so you can keep everything as close with what you've already done. So again, I'm going to just add the CA. Like I said, a little bit on this, for this goes a really long way. I'm going to drop my window down, turn it over, adjust it as I need to before this all sets up, apply a little pressure, and peel my finger off before it really gets going. I do have a toothpick to clean up the residual CA, and then I'll hold it up to the light, make sure there's no real off kilter light leaks like I seem to have, because like I said, this window is a little bit there we go. Let's see, right about there. Yep, that's better. It was just a little off, so I wanted to make sure I got it back on right. And there we go. There's another one. So I'm going to add the last one. And take a look. Get my placement. Clean off the flash. It seems to be like I said, a plague on some of these. You think you're clean, and then all of a sudden you put on your Photo-etch and it's like, oh my gosh, thought I got you all done. Again, take my sanding stick. Guys, if you don't have any of these sanding sticks yet, get some. They are phenomenal. They help so much. They help if you need to square that window out a little more or whatever. You know, I was always with sandpaper and all that, you know, when I first got back into building again. And I've learned so much. My wife hates it. I have so many things now to build these kits. But, okay. So there's that. We'll add our glue. We'll do our CA. We'll add the window. Take a look at the placement before we get it pushed down. Get it pushed down. Maybe. Placement. Dang it. There we go. And there's the last window. Again, guys, working with Photo-etch, you don't have to be scared of it. It does really great things. It definitely brings a lot to your model kit. Again, just take your time. Don't ever be in a hurry. Make sure it's clean. Make sure your kit's ready, because once you put this on, it's really not going to come off. I mean, if you try to take this off, you're going to bend it. It's really soft metal. It's malleable. So just take your time. Test fit, test fit, test fit, clean, test fit, and once you're happy, glue it in place. Like I said, again, you just, don't be scared of Photo-etch. Just take your time with it. So, well, this completes the lower part of the ship. Not the lower part of the ship, but the lower part of the saucer section. There is no more Photo-etch. Again, we have our navigation lights drilled. Everything's ready to go. All I got to do is go in and do some build up and sanding, and this is ready. I can put this pretty much to the side till we get ready to start lighting it. On the top of the saucer, though, is a different story. We still have to do our airlocks. We still have pieces that we need to prime glue. We still have some build up to do here. This is pretty much the last thing we got to do, and then I still have some Photo-etch to add into yet another airlock EVA hatch, and then finish up some of the little odds and ends, and then this will be ready to start lighting. So there's still quite a bit of work to do, because I still have to go and clean all this off, add that Photo-etch. The team at Paragraphics, the guy who designed the Photo-etch kit, also added extra lifeboats, because as you can see here on this kit, they're not present, so we got those extra lifeboats still to add. We still got to finish taking down the lifeboats and stuff off the top of deck A, and then reapply that. But for the most part, the big stuff, I want to get some showy bits for you guys, because the video hasn't, I didn't produce a video for the last couple of weeks. So showy bits, again, I'm really impressed. I like the way it's come out. Now, while it looks good here, the real test is going to be when we start running the lighting, and we'll find all those little light leaks that, when you're just holding up to a light, are never present until you actually put the LED strips in, and then it's like, oh my God, how did I miss that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep working on the top of the saucer, and I might do some work on the secondary hull, get some of that Photo-etch in, because some of it's really easy, and then there's some that we're going to have to do some work with. Yes, one of the other things I still have to do is get these, the secondary sensor or secondary deflector dish. I have to get that measured in and put, and yes, I will be using a measure, try to get it all placed just perfect, just right. Okay guys, with all that said and done, kind of know I went on a little bit of a rant there. I'm going to keep working on this. I won't do any more showing on cutting out of the Photo-etch and putting it in. I think I beat that horse to death for you guys. So I'm going to get all the Photo-etch, try to get all that finished up. The plan is, for the secondary hull, I'm actually probably going to, after I get the Photo-etch in, I'm going to put it together. Because as you can see, I got a lot of work to do on the seam, and I have an idea on how I'm going to do the lighting. But I want to strengthen this up once I get it glued together, and I can run the lighting without having too much trouble with it being together, because I need to put my connection for my post in, get this seam built up, run a couple pieces of styrene across just to bulk the hole up, to strengthen it up. So guys, I think that's going to be an end to build log 2. We are steadily making progress. We've gotten a lot of the photo etch done. We've gotten a big chunk of it taken care of. So what's going to be in store for next week? Well, next week hopefully I will have all the photo etch done. I will have everything squared away, sanded down, and we will start prep and work going into getting the lighting ready for the kit. We do have some parts that we have to build separate, that paint separate. We have the sensor package, bow and aft. We have the deflector dish, and we have a couple more holes. I'm trying to think what's best for doing the phaser array, whether I want to do it actually up here or back here. But next week we're going to start working on prepping for lighting. I want to try to get as much of the, I want to get the photo etch complete. I want to get that done, out of the way, because once we start going and getting ready for lighting, it's getting paint on the kit, it's getting light blocking done. So I want to have as much of this done and out of the way. So guys, I want to say thank you. I know, like I said, it's been a couple weeks since I put a video out, but we're getting progress done again. So guys, until next week on the bench, have a great weekend and take care of each other.